How the tortoise got its shell. Long ago, in a land filled with lush forests and sparkling rivers, there lived a tortoise named Timi. Timi was not like the tortoise we know today. He was smooth and fast, able to race through the grass with incredible speed. Timi was very proud of his swiftness and loved to show off. One day, the birds of the sky invited Timi to a grand feast they were having high above in the clouds. The birds were known for their wisdom and magic, and their feasts were famous for being full of delicious fruits and treats. Timi was thrilled. He had never been to such a magical feast and was excited to see what it was like. The birds welcomed Timi warmly and offered him feathers to help him fly up to their feast. Timi was amazed. With the feathers, he soared through the sky and landed gracefully among the birds. The feast was magnificent, with fruit of every color and sweet nectar flowing from giants' bowls. Timi enjoyed the feast and made many new friends among the birds. But as he ate and drank, he began to feel envious. The birds had beautiful, colorful feathers and could fly wherever they wanted. Timi wished he could have feathers like theirs and fly all the time, not just during the feast. As the feast went on, Timi's greed grew stronger. He wanted to keep the feathers for himself, even though the birds had only lent them to him for the day. When the feast was over, the birds began to prepare to return to their nests. I don't want to give these feathers back, Timi thought. I want to keep flying and be as free as the birds. When the birds were not looking, Timi hid some of the feathers. As he was trying to sneak away with the new treasure, the birds noticed. They were very upset and told Timi, "These feathers are not for keeping. We're giving them for the feast and now we must return them." But Timi was too greedy to listen. He flew higher and higher with the stolen feathers, ignoring the birds' warning. The birds tried to stop him, but Timi was too fast and too greedy to care. Suddenly, a strong wind blew across the sky. Timi struggled to keep control, but the wind was too powerful. The feathers he had taken began to flutter and fly away. Timi lost his balance and started to plummet down from the sky. He crashed through the trees and landed hard on the ground. When he looked down, he saw that the feathers had disappeared, and his smooth shells was now cracked into pieces. Timi was shocked and hurt. His once smooth body was now covered in rough, uneven patches. Timi lay on the ground, dazed and aching. The once smooth and sleek tortoise was now covered in rough, cracked pieces. As he slowly got up, he looked around in despair. The sky was far above him, and the magical feast he had enjoyed seemed like a distant dream. The birds, who had seen Timi fall, flew down to check on him. They were not angry anymore, but were deeply concerned for their guest. The wise old owl among them spoke gently to Timi. "Timi, your greed led you to ignore our warnings. Now, look at what has become of you. Your shell is shattered because you choose to keep what's not yours," the owl said with a sad tone. Timi's heart was heavy with regret. "I am so sorry," he said, tears welling in his eyes. "I wanted to have the feathers forever, but I see now that my greed caused my downfall." The owl nodded. "Greed can make you lose everything we hold dear. Sometimes we must learn to be content with what we have, rather than wanting more and more." Timi's shells was in many pieces, and he could hardly move. the birds decided to help him. They gathered twigs, leaves, and mud from around the forest. With great care, they began to piece together Timi cracked shell, using their magic to mend it as best as they could. While the bird walked, Timi looked around and saw how kind they were. Despite his earlier misdeed, he felt a deep sense of humility and gratitude. The wise owl approached Timi once more. You have learned a valuable lesson today. Though we have mended your shell as much as we could, it will never be smooth as it was. This is a reminder of the consequences of greed. Timi nodded, understanding the message. I will never forget this lesson. From now on, I will be grateful for what I have and never let greed control me again. With his newly repaired shell, though still cracked and rough, Timi slowly made his way back to his home in the forest. He moved much slower now, and his once fast movements were replaced by a steady, thoughtful pace. As Timi traveled, he met animals who had heard about his fall. They were curious and sometimes even frightened by his new appearance. Timi shared the story with them, explaining how his greed had caused him to lose everything and how he had learned the importance of being content. Timi's story spread throughout the forest, and many animals listened with interest. They learned from Timi's experience and avoided the mistake he had made. Timi became known not just for his speed, but for his wisdom as well. In time, Timi found peace in his life. Though his shell remained cracked, he no longer wished for more than he needed. He appreciated the simple joys of the forest, the company of his friends, and the beauty of nature. Timi's story became a lesson for all who heard it, that greed can lead to one's downfall, and contentment is the key to true happiness. The tortoise, with his cracked shell, had become a living reminder of the importance of being grateful and staying humble. Timi still teaches us that while the temptation to seek more can be strong, finding contentment with what we have brings true joy and peace. Greed can lead to losing everything, but humility and gratitude helps us appreciate the blessings we already have. Folktales are rich in moral lessons and cultural heritage, often illustrating the values and wisdom of African communities. Thank you for joining us on this 3D journey. To watch more captivating stories and stay updated, please kindly subscribe